Hello to all those fun ways. Today you are watching the Osterbrony YouTube channel, or at least Osterbrony backup channel. And today we will be playing Empires of Europe 1700. You will need all these requirements: Harmony, Europe Polemy Project, Banner Color Persistence with Banner Paste, Empires of Europe 1700 Assets. I basically downloaded most of the stuff off of the Nexus instead of Workshop just because there are a lot of what you might call update kind of. You need to basically update your game to a certain extent, and you need to follow a very specific tutorial. So they also have a Discord, Empires of Europe Discord, and then of course there is a instructions thing on there. Don't know bro's channel. Anyway, just look for this channel. It should have a white background, maybe a shield, and a couple of words around in a circle. It says Empires of Europe. That's what you need to look for, and they will have a instructions, and you will need to update your game to version 1.2.10, and your load order should have Harmony. The mod author had better exceptions windows or expectation windows. Europe Polemy Project, Empires of Europe 1700s assets, the actual mod, and then the banners. So Harmony needs to be on the very tippy top. Better expectation windows needs to be next to the bottom. Lemmy needs to be middle bottom. Empire of Europe 1700s assets needs to be top. Middle 1700s, the next one, and then at the very bottom, banner color persistence with banner paste. So we have a long load ahead of us. Let me get to it. Okay. And of course, if you guys are having issues, make sure to go to your file and Steam apps, and then unblock anything in the config. You'll need to press properties, unblocked, read all, or read only, and then that's how that should in theory work, because that's how I got it to work. But make sure you get everything unblocked with all those mods, and you should in theory be good. So, but like I said, we got some loading to go through. And when you first initially play this mod, with all the other mods installed with it, it will probably take you half an hour just to get into the campaign. But in theory, it should work. Alright. This should be the mod. And we're gonna go to save games because I cannot be bothered to go through the loading screens again. But this is some of the armor or the clothing you might see in the mod. Something like that. So you'll need all of those. And these will be the loading screens that you walk into, where the loading screen is basically a thank you for doing everything kind of thing. So you know who does what and how it's done and blah blah blah. By the way, the music is not an edit, it is actually a part of the mod. So there you go. Now only if we can make the time loading go faster and not be this long. Alright, so now we are in the mod. And that took forever. But now we are on the Let Me Europe mod map. Kind of wish we had a different map maker because this map doesn't always work. But seeing how it's working now, no, there's kind of an exception to that. So I think the game froze. That's not good. My goodness gracious. Yay, more loading, because that's what we all wanted.
On my orders!
Alright, so yeah, there'll be like a little glitch thing where your main character will be screaming at your men. But your basic infantry, as it were... Oh. So they have their customary hats, they have their pistols, which are missing the ramrod for some reason. And most of your beginning infantry will have matchlocks. So there's that.
Archers, move!
You cannot reload on your horse for some reason. And yeah, so if you can hear it, you can't really reload on your horse, so you have to get off your horse and shoot. But as you guys can see, they have the uniforms on. Some of them do, some of them don't. They have the tricorn hats. For some reason, even though it's the 1700s, most of the men do not have flintlock guns, but they have matchlock guns. And I seemingly have not even a flintlock even, but I literally have a caplock gun. So seems like they kind of threw everything together for this mod. Another thing is that it looks like most of these kind of uniforms, if you can even call it that, have been taken from the Napoleonic mod that they have. I don't know if they're made by the same person or not. There's also no sabers. There's only the vanilla sabers, which I mean, I think somebody should fix that. But regardless, we're gonna go in a town now. But we have our French Continental militia. They have axes and matchlocks. For some reason, our French Fusiliers still have matchlocks. And our Wallachians have flintlock pistols. So, not necessarily the most historical mod. There's a historical element, I guess you could say, but not necessarily historical. But everything that I can't show you in the market, what's been added to the mod, I will definitely show you in the inventory cheat menu. So we're waiting for this to be unpaused, because this mod, I don't know, is unstable or something. And it takes forever for things to load. It's kind of the worst part of these Bannerlord mods, unlike the Warband ones. The Warband ones are a little bit quicker than this, save for the Age of Imperialism. But let's go into an actual city. Let's go to Pisa. And this belongs to the Holy Roman Empire for some reason. So no actual sabers. There's just kind of these Mongolian ones, which I don't know why they didn't just change these out, but maybe they plan to, I don't know. We also have grenades, so you can buy those anytime. Guns seem to be very rare in the market for whatever reason. Also, the black powder ammo is for your pistols and your rifles. So let's get the money there, and then we'll take a look at the uniforms. So we have some of these Russian grenadier hats, as you can see. Of course, I have a mixture right here of a French helmet for its cavaliers, and then I have an Austrian uniform under this cavalier breastplate, and light gray gaiters. We also have bands and backpacks or bandoliers, right, so you can carry your ammo. There we go, that's probably more of a better example. White and yellow uniform, brown and blue, hussar, whatever. Red and white. Then we have our tailored blue gaiters, or boots, or whatever you want to call them. So if you try to do that, or excuse me, it's probably not the best example, but we also have the black light equipment. Let me get rid of this disturbing. So we have our backpack on. We have our Russian or hat, helmet thing, whatever, on. And then that's it for basically your stuff right there. Okay, so the cheat menu is not on. Config. Cheat mode. Alright. Let's go to inventory. Weapons. So I don't believe there's any sabers to speak of, aside from that garbage one there. No sabers, nothing like that. So you're better off going into the cheat menu and just grabbing some sort of scimitar or something like that, because they don't have what you need in this mod as of yet. I don't know. What else? So we'll start from the top. These are your shields, vanilla shields, your bows, ballista arrows. Alright, so these are your flintlock pistol. So it's right there. Your carbine. Your carbine is a matchlock for some reason. Even though this is the 1700s, kind of well off from that time period. Well, not well off, but you think you would want to show off all the technology of that era. Alright, so we have our flintlock musket. Alright, we have our flintlock, no bayonets apparently. So that's the only thing that they probably did not take from, you know, the Napoleonic mod. A lot of the uniforms I feel like they did, however. Let's also take a look at the Jaeger rifle. So the Jaeger rifle is literally a cap lock. I'm not sure how well you guys can see the little tube there. I don't know why there is an extra thing there. That seems like an unintended. Why is this? Okay, so that's weird. And then we have the flintlock. So it's missing its ramrod for some reason. But it's also a caplock pistol, even though it says flintlock. So I don't know. I guess somebody doesn't know the difference between the two. Not very good, well researched mod. But we also have our matchlock here. Looks pretty accurate to what a matchlock would look like, or an arquebus or whatever. It's also missing its ramrod, and it's missing the rope. Or no, it's just really tiny. It's not too much rope on that firing mechanism. So we have another Giselle rifle. This is another caplock gun, which is exactly the same. This time it does have its ramrod, so you can fire and reload. Well crafted pistol. The rest of these are cap locks, it seems, but it's not a flintlock. That's for certain. And the whole difference between a flintlock and a cap lock is that this mechanism right here, the hammer is supposed to be hitting, or a cap is supposed to be. No, there isn't a cap on there. But if there was one, the hammer would strike it down, and then that's how it would fire. It's a really weird ramrod, and then this is a flintlock musket, and as you guys can see here, where it has the little flint on the hammer that strikes the frozen pan, and when that happens, it hits the powder and makes the bullet shoot out. So that's the difference between the two. But these are not flintlocks. This is the only flintlock here. So they need to rename those. Arbus gun. This is a flintlock grenade launcher. Believe it or not. What is that used? What kind of ammunition, I wonder? But these were either developed by the Russians or the Ottomans. And it is basically a, well, like I said before, a grenade launcher. So you put your little bombs in here, and then when you shoot it off, it is supposed to land somewhere. The rope, obviously goes, and then it explodes. What is this? So this is an actual flintlock pistol, unlike the other ones. Expert used flintlock pistol. It has a ramrod, thank goodness, and a little flint piece. So I don't know. I think they just got lazy with naming conventions. we have a really weird kind of gun here. It is basically a matchlock stock and barrel with a flintlock hammer system. Why? Unless that's supposed to be like a doglock musket or something like that. We also have another expert one. This is an actual flintlock. You have your ammunition. Okay, so we do have a bus, gun ammo. We also have the blunderbuss, whatever, grenades. Where is the blunderbuss? Oh, here it is. Alright, so the blunderbuss is a well-crafted decorative gun in this mod. And this is basically your shotgun of it all. And has a flintlock mechanism, which is accurate. So you have your rifles, you have your pistol without very good naming conventions. Some of those are kind of get on my nerves a little bit. Now we got to scroll down for these hats. So we have some of these Frycore hats. So there's that. Some of these are Napoleonic in nature. I don't know why they mixed the two. We also have the Grenadier bearskin hats. This one's of an Austrian design, I believe. This is French. So Grenadier bearskin, sorry. You got your Scottish Highlander hats. Yeah, Hussar Kolpak hat, I guess. Your Jaeger hats. So these would be like your sharpshooters from like the Austrian Empire. We have more Landwehr helmet or hats. These would be like your, I don't know, your militia or something like that. We also have a Russian variant. We have another Russian hat I showed earlier. We have a tricorn hat. Officer bearskin hat. What else do we got here? We have some of the French Cavalier helmets. This is the worst one yet, just because it leaves a lot of boldness, and just because this is supposed to be having a back area to defend the back of your head, and it clearly doesn't exist here, and this helmet is too small for this man's head. So they need to probably remake that in Blender. But some of these helmets that I'm showing now, some of these hats, some of these helmets, whatever, have been shown in the Napoleonic mod. And it obviously hasn't been on this channel, but it's from that mod. We have another Cavalier helmet. This time it's iron or steel or whatever. We have the Dragoon. So this is like bronze or brass. Home Guard, probably polished leather or steel, I don't know. Do we have any more hats, I wonder? We have more sashes. Oh, that's a surgeon's bandolier. Ammo. Of course, it doesn't help that I kind of have a breastplate on, but whatever. I know some of these will probably complain about that. There's that. There's this. There's that. There's that. What else do we have here? We have uniforms, I hope. That's mostly why everybody's here watching this video. So yes, we have more gold and blue Hussar uniforms. Some of them blue, some of them brown, some of them blue and red and white. Others are just blue. Various types of blue uniforms. What is that? White and yellow. This is white and green. We got your reds, your various types of reds. This is your surgeon coat, I guess. Yeah, the French uniforms look a little bit better than the British ones, not gonna lie. The hats, on the other hand, are bothersome. I think these are the Austrian ones. Then we have some regular stuff. We have the Dragoon stuff, or Hussars. We have the Pink Dragon uniform. I think that's Austrian. That might be Italian. We have our Prussian gray coats. Brown, green, or British green. Austrian gray. British blue. I think Italian green. Got your red. So yeah, so some of these are a little mixture of both periods, a little bit of 1700s, a little bit of 1800s. I don't know why they reused the Napoleonic stuff. If they are not the same author, if it's the same author, then I guess it's whatever. But if it's not the same author, then probably want to check in with that person. We have our breastplate with us, so that's the Austrian one. These are the two French ones. We have our blue and yellow, and various other things. And then we have our elite French one, where it's all gold. Another Austrian one. So that's the one I was wearing earlier. Then you have a pair of gloves. You have your black gloves. You have your white gloves. I think that might have crashed the game. And maybe the video. So you got your white gloves. You got pants, you got bare knees, gaiters, whatever. So I don't know. You guys basically get the picture. So we're gonna cancel. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I have been Osterbrony. Or rather, this has been the Osterbrony backup channel, whatever. And I hope to see you in the next one. Until then, bye-bye. Ugh.